we'll do the live thing first. Like, hey everybody, welcome back to the Bigmark podcast. It's me, your host, Bigmark. If it's your first time watching, welcome. If not, welcome back. Like I always say, if you ever wanted to reach out to the podcast, let us know if you wanted to come on and join the episode as a guest, or let us know if you wanted to hear about a new topic or anything like that. Hit us up in the DMs or in the comments, anything like that, and we'd love to hear from you. So again, thank you so much for stopping by. This is the best way you can possibly support the podcast, whether you're listening or whether you're watching on YouTube or listening wherever you stream your podcasts. That's, again, you're doing the best you can right now. And you know, if you like and subscribe and like the videos and subscribe to our channel on YouTube and do all those fun things, follow along on Spotify. You can go that extra mile. And if you even wanted to get even more special, go check out our Patreon, patreon.com/BigmarkPodcast. There's a couple different ways to support the podcast there. So thank you all for listening. Thank you all for being here. I'm super excited again, as always, to talk about today. Our topic today is the Junos. They were the Canadian Music Awards. For all the uninitiated or anyone who doesn't know about, Canada has our own Grammys. We call it the Junos. And this year it was hosted in Hamilton. So that was super fun. And I was able to attend. Kate got tickets for us and we went out and it was super great. It was also my birthday weekend, so we had a little party on Friday too. And then the Junos were Sunday. At least the award ceremony, whatever party kind of thing, closing ceremonies really, because there was like the Junos gala, I guess, happened on the Saturday, where a lot of awards were given then, and then the Junos that at least I went to was more of like the concert, like what you'd watch on TV, and I'm sure there was a lot of stuff kind of like intertwined in the TV feed, right? Like, honestly, it's funny, I don't really watch many award shows, especially the Junos, sadly, but I don't usually watch them, but you always kind of think, oh, I wonder what it'd be like actually being there. I feel like the Oscars would be kind of interesting. I wonder if they like show like little snippets and stuff, but the Junos and the Grammys I think would be super fun because it's like a concert. Or at least, and now I can tell you as a fact, the Junos was super fun because it is like a concert. So there's a bunch of bands playing, and we'll kind of get into that a little bit. You know, it was a really good show. It was at TD Coliseum here in Hamilton, Ontario. It was hosted by Mae Martin, and they were really great. Mae Martin is a comedian. They also go by she, her, but they are kind of a little bit, gender ambiguous, if you will, but they made an interesting comment. She made an interesting comment during their monologue saying, hopefully people, I like to hang out with people who are more interested in what I have to say rather than my gender. So she said, they touched upon it. I'm sorry, May. I don't mean to be insensitive. Let's just put it that way. They were great. Great host, good energy, kind of kept things moving. It was kind of funny the way they moved through the audience and kind of were up on stage, but then also kind of in the front. There was this kind of like front area where artists were. This year especially was a major year for Canadian pop and alternative music. And lots of great names in the music, and it's kind of, Canada has always put out great artists, and of course we like to give nod to a lot of our artists that don't necessarily make it out of the country too, I think, during these type of award ceremonies, right? Because not every Canadian does get a chance to go really down to the States, and that's kind of where you really make it an honest try of things, especially if you're a musician. And not every Canadian artist does that, but they stay up in Canada for various reasons and have great success here. And I think things like the Junos like to obviously give nod to that. Obviously, the big artists that have left, your Justin Biebers, your Drakes, your Weekends. In this case, Biebs had 6 nominations this year, and The Weeknd had 5 nominations. But Tate McRae actually was a big name. She's newer, 6 nominations. She is started as a dancer, and was kind of doing viral YouTube performances, and then rose to stardom to become pretty much a global pop star. So she's been one of the defining voices of Gen Z pop music. So it's really, really great for her. And then Cameron Whitcomb too. He got a bunch of nods, and he kind of does like country folk, if you will, country with alt rock mixed into it. It's kind of an interesting vibration. So it's kind of cool that he got 5 nominations there. And that's the thing, right? I think, like, you know, some of these artists are, you know, your Drakes and Biebs and stuff are not aging out of things, but, you know, they're not the youngest kind of new hot thing, you know what I mean? So it's nice to see the next generation kind of move up, which is pretty interesting. So Tate McRae, as I mentioned, she actually won Artist of the Year, Album of the Year, Single of the Year, and I don't know, I think that was it. But Artist, Album, and Single of the Year, absolutely incredible. Obviously, again, coming from Calgary and kind of making this big jump, it kind of felt like her official coronation. But that's the thing, right? I think, again, you know, you see all these bands kind of come through, and it was interesting the way that they kind of did it too. They only gave the bands one song to play when they came out. So, like, there's a few bands that went through. I'll kind of go over some of them later, because there was a few surprises anyway. But one of the surprises was pretty great. And the way that they kind of rolled the bands through, they only let them play one song, which I thought was kind of interesting, because one song is super weird as a band. Like, you don't really have chance. Like, obviously you're warmed up backstage, like you're warmed up for the performance. But when you're like playing to a stadium, especially like a fucking whole arena, like you have to get a chance. It's a two-way thing, like a live performance. It goes both ways. Like you are interacting with the audience in some way. Maybe it's not necessarily directly if it's a giant one, but also, you know, you're trying to feed into their energy, and you can't really figure that out in one song. And usually you want to see a band do 3 songs, because it's kind of a big beginning, middle, and end. It can take you somewhere a little bit, but where with one song, it was kind of wild. But again, it was a who's who, so to speak, of Canadian music. Nelly Furtado, of course, got her Canadian Music Hall of Fame induction, which was absolutely incredible. And then Joni Mitchell also got a Lifetime Achievement Award, which was super cool. I was standing next to her. I was we had tickets on the floor, and Joni Mitchell and Mark Carney were sitting next to each other. So, excuse me. Like I said, it was a veritable who's who of Canadian celebrity. Obviously she doesn't come out too often. She just had a brain aneurysm last year, and she was actually doing her little monologue thing with Carney up on stage, because he presented her the award. And she kind of started her like little speech over again. I don't know if she like lost her place on her page or something, or anyway, because there was a big teleprompter that we saw that most of the artists were like reading off of. Billy Talent came out to do some talks. Like, again, it's like kind of funny, just like some of the people that came out just to chat, and they had a big teleprompter, but Joni didn't have one. So, like, again, maybe she had a notes that she was reading from, and she kind of started over again, and you could tell this murmur, this gentle wave of concern kind of fell amongst the crowd, and then everyone kind of gave her a little bit of applause. They brought up the house music for a second, let her reset. She ended up doing a cool performance of Big Yellow Taxi with Sarah McLachlan and Allison Russell, again, it was super cool. So she got a nod, and again Nelly as well, and it was kind of cool because they did a really cool tribute performance for her. They did kind of a little medley, a bunch of different artists, like all different. I wish I could name them all, but I don't know if I recognized everyone, but everyone was phenomenal, and it was really nice to see her back out there because she hasn't been out in the spotlight too long, for a while, I should say. She looked great. I got to admit, her dress was gorgeous, but it wasn't doing her hips any favor. She was looking just a little bottom heavy, but God bless her. We love her. She's a Portuguese queen, and nothing wrong with the way she looked. She was beautiful. And, I was hoping that she would do a little performance, but she didn't. But Drake actually did a little, had a little speech for her, but he fucking like zoomed it in. He basically just like sent in a video performance, and the guy's private jet like lands in Hamilton. It uses the Hamilton airport. So like, I don't know, like, I don't know what he was thinking by just kind of phoning it in literally. And he just like read his little speech off a piece of paper, and basically talked about himself more than he did Nelly, and talked about how he lost some of his Junos to Shad, and the years that him and Shad were in the running for the same Juno. Drake also won a Juno that year. He didn't lose all of them, and like it was just like highly inaccurate what he said, and like it was very strange. And again, he kind of just talked about himself a little bit weird. So it was kind of strange. But again, it was really cool to see, like I said, this kind of new guard being passed on from this older generation, the Drakes, the Nellys, and Joni even, getting these Lifetime Achievement Awards. You're kind of saying, oh man, like I remember when Nelly was new, and now she's she's in the Hall of Fame. She didn't get a Lifetime Achievement Award, but again, excellent for her. But again, really cool to see the new guard kind of join the future. Cam Whitcomb won Breakthrough Artist of the Year, artist/group of the year, which is super cool. Group of the year was the Beaches, the third consecutive time they've won Group of the Year, so that's great for them. They've become kind of the Foo Fighters of Canadian music. They're the band, which is awesome. Obviously, it's cool to see this kind of new rock resurgence in Canada, and obviously a fully women-led band making history is always awesome. And they're just continuing this momentum from previous years. The Fan Choice Awards was Baby No Money, and that was super. They're brand new artist, and it's pretty cool to see them come. His name's Alexander Gamuchian. I guess he's an Armenian kid. He's from Vancouver, but super cool. Kind of, his big hit was La La La. It became a kind of a global viral hit. He's kind of just like a witty, self-aware guy. He kind of combines rap and R&B and electronic. So super cool for him to win the Fans' Choice. And like I said, a lot of the bands that came out were phenomenal, but one of the biggest surprises was a live appearance by Rush, the new Rush, at least. And it was one of my biggest regrets, has never been able to see Rush as the full piece. I mean, obviously Neil has passed and left us, so we're no longer with the man, and he's no longer with us. But it is great to. It was phenomenal to be able to see it. Like, again, just missing Neil. I wish I could have saw him, and like I said, I wish I could have seen them live as a threesome. But they played the Junos. They played one song. They're the first band to come out, and Getty and Alex were there, and their new drummer, which is awesome. She just joined the band. Nikki, she is, oh my God, what's her name? She's, I'm I'm gonna have to look it up because she just joined. So she's like a YouTube drummer. New Rush drummer. Her name is Annika Niles. Niles. Nilles. Anyway, so she's the new drummer. So they came out and they played like a song from their first album. Again, only one song, so they had to kind of make it. But that was really awesome to see. And you know, a bunch of the other bands were phenomenal too. We were kind of in and out. We did unfortunately miss the Beaches performance because we were just like, you know, we're on the general admission floor, so you could kind of come in and out and grab drinks and join the party and stuff. So it was kind of fun. You know, it's always one of those things where whenever you're at a general admission thing, as a super tall guy, it's always weird because you don't want to go like kind of in front of people and they don't get to see and shit like that. But I mean, it's weird because it's like a giant space, so people can move around, and everyone's paid their ticket. But like, it's still something weird about going in front of people. But we kind of had our own spot that we would come back and forth to. So it is what it is, and fuck it. It's everyone. Like I said, everyone paid their own money to be there. So it was really nice. It was really nice to see all these artists and do their thing. There was there was a few really cool Juno Award nominees, and I just want to. Anyway, there was some great artists. Daniel Caesar, perfect. That's who I was looking for. Daniel Caesar played. He was really, really good. Keith's a big fan of him, so that was really cool to see him. And he like did this kind of cool thing like in the crowd, and he won an award with his pops. So that was really cool to see. And again, you know, it kind of felt like a portrait of Canadian music just to be there and see all the different peeps. And it was a really special night and a wonderful birthday present too. So again, you know, 3 different eras kind of sharing the same stage, and that definitely made the night special. You know, because sometimes an award show doesn't just hand out trophies. Sometimes it tells you exactly where music is headed next. So keep an eye out. The Folk Music Conference is coming out coming to Hamilton again in October. It's going to be a big year for music in Hamilton, like I've been saying. So watch out. Keep an eye out. Check out Reckless Harbor. We're part of that. We got a big fucking audition for Mariposa Folk Fest. We got a showcase in Aurelia coming up. So if you're listening to this before Mariposa, wish us luck, and we'll hopefully see you there. Anyway, thanks for listening, y'all. Go listen to some Canadian music. See you next week. Peace.